Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2 is Pix the Cat on the PlayStation 4. This is another lovely surprise to appear on PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus has been successful for several reasons, but personally for me, I just love having titles thrown at me that I'd never heard of, and for the most part they feel so carefully chosen. They all feel as if they belong on PlayStation exclusively. What did you played this a bit? What did you reckon?
I really enjoyed what I played. I wasn't quite wrapping my head around how I could get any further, if that makes any sense. I was just playing the arcade mode of this game that's kind of a cross between Pac-Man DX Edition and Snake, I guess. And then you kind of the level next to the one that you're on. I'll rewind because that's confusing. You play a little cat. You're in a little maze, top down. You have to pick up eggs and then drop the eggs off on these little targets. I don't know why you have to do it. No, you have to pick up eggs and they turn into ducks that go behind you, and then you drop those ducks off into little targets. Once you've dropped all the ducks off, a little portal will open up and you go to the next level, but you kind of keep going deeper and deeper into the screen almost. It's a really cool visual trick that you're probably better off watching a YouTube video of than me trying to describe it. But I played the arcade mode maybe 5 times and I felt I was getting a little bit better every time, but I couldn't really work out how I could get much better because it just felt like I didn't have enough time. So I needed, hopefully you can explain how you get further, because I couldn't really understand how I could get much further.
Yeah, it doesn't do an amazing job. I mean, on the intro screen, the instructions, they basically downsize the whole game into 3 little bullet points. It says collect eggs, drop ducklings, go deeper. That's all it says, and it's actually the main system of the game involves how you do that. I mean, like you said, you pick up these eggs, they turn into ducks, they follow you around like a snake. What is not explained is that you need to collect all of the eggs on each screen before you can start dropping them into the target panels. That's how you perfect levels.
Yeah.
So needless to say, the levels become more maze-like, so it's harder to pick up all of the eggs without hitting a target first because they're scattered all over the place. And making no mistakes means a speed increase also, so it does get a little bit more difficult. The game's really fast, and you're moving between rooms of various sizes. Sometimes you need to move in and out of rooms through different entrances in order to complete them. And oftentimes, it should be really hard to know what's going on because the structure of the sort of overworld map is so elaborate. But once you've acclimatised to how it looks, I don't know. What did you play this on? PlayStation 4?
I played it on Vita. It might be a bit too small.
I was just going to say I don't know how it translates because I played it on PS4 and there are sections where you're moving around the tiny borders of larger maps, and you and the collectibles are tiny even on a large screen. So I kind of suspect that the Vita version is almost unplayable at different points.
I didn't get to that level of smallness, but I was already finding that it was starting to get a little bit too diddy from where I was. But I got to the same room about 4 times in a row, and I just couldn't really see how I was going to have enough time to get much further. Yeah, right. Even though I thought I was pretty much perfecting every screen up until that point.
Did you know that you had to get everything before you could start dropping them off?
I worked that out pretty quickly, yeah.
Oh, it took me a little bit longer. I wasn't sure why the multipliers were dying so fast. So, but yeah, it is very simple. That aside, although it doesn't explain that side of it. Once you understand it, I played it for about 6 hours today, and it becomes a work of unparalleled genius. Like Velocity Ultra and Velocity 2X, it's a fusion of so many things that A, it shouldn't really work, and B, it's kind of unfair to label it as anything because it is a puzzle game, but it's also an action game. It's a score attack game, but it also kind of benefits from being taken slow. It's definitely not without its pleasures if you want to play it slowly, but obviously it's high speed is how you're supposed to do it. But some bits demand a bit of thought and care, while other bits test your reflexes. And the game involves having to balance your concentration, because if you concentrate too much on not hitting your tail, because your tail grows as you pick up the collectibles, you end up forgetting that this is a speedrun game as well. So vice versa, if you rush, you make foolish mistakes and you forget that you have to avoid your tail, etc. There are some excellent alternate modes as well. There's laboratory mode, which kind of restricts your movement a little bit. It kind of plays like a classic soccer band game where you can only move out of corners. And nostalgia mode is basically the same. It's animated to look like a sort of pre-World War One animation, black and white, and the main focus is on staying alive long enough to get a required number of collectibles each time. That's a great mode. There's even local multiplayer, but I haven't had the chance to check that out yet. I haven't been in a situation to try it. But even without multiplayer, all those modes as a package, I just think it's stunning. The only reason to be wary of playing it is that it's almost impossible to put it down once you start chasing your own high scores, because there's a ghost system where your highest score is always buzzing around in front of you. And because you're tapping, or rather I was tapping, I think the D-pad's a better method of control than the control sticks. Because I was tapping on the D-pad so furiously the whole time, it's the first game in years where I can honestly say, straight up honestly, that I had to stop playing because my thumbs hurt too much, seriously. It's another one of those bullshit-free indie games that really is all killer, no filler. It's just a complete and utter stunner. PlayStation Plus already gave us one of the year's best games in Velocity 2X, and this is another one.
Wow, I need to get it on PS4.
Yeah, you really do. It is amazing. You've got to download it.